Furiosa is a cinematic achievement. I don't think it's a perfect movie. Very few movies are perfect. I think Dune Part 2 is perfect. It's my number one movie of 2024. But now I think Fury is my second favorite movie of the year, and that says a lot because I really love Challengers as well. But I think Furiosa is even better than Challengers. And I'm going to tell you why I think it's a cinematic achievement, even though it has its flaws and it's not perfect. But in my opinion, like it might differ from people to people, but in my opinion, the toughest job as a director is to make a movie that's 95% action and 5% emotion, or 5% you could say story. But even in that 5%, George Miller was able to emote so much out of me. I can't believe how invested I was in the action, because in my opinion, all action is just noise. You need to have something there. And casting Anya Taylor-Joy as Furiosa, I think, is one of the master stroke of George Miller, because she emotes through her eyes. She doesn't have a lot of dialogues, but her eyes, man, like it's absolutely breathtaking. In those action sequences, you can totally see her eyes and you can see a person behind it, and the emotion she is able to emote through her eyes, it works so well in the movie. Like I was totally invested in the action. It was not just mindless fun or something like that many people are calling. There's an emotional core to the movie, and in those 4 or 5 scenes, like I think the movie has 4 or 5 very emotional scenes, all of which clicked with me, especially the climax. I think Chris Hemsworth is great in the movie, but I wasn't fully sold on his character until the end, until the climax. And when you see the movie, you'll get what I'm saying. What happens in the climax between Chris Hemsworth's character and Anya Taylor-Joy's character is so refreshing. It's so amazing. It is cinema, guys. Like what happens in the end absolutely blew me away. You can have all the action in the movie, you can have all the great cinematography or production design that this movie has, but it does not click if you don't have a good ending, have a good closure, have characters that we care about. Tom Burke is also great in the movie. He appears in the second half of the movie, and his chemistry with Anya Taylor-Joy was through the roof. Furiosa is a great movie, and all I'm seeing online is that it's just a fun action movie and it pales in comparison to Mad Max Fury Road. I disagree, guys. Like, I think Mad Max Fury Road is the better movie, might be the better movie. Once I see Furiosa a couple of more times, I'll be able to judge it better. But Furiosa is very different. It brings something new. I think that there are things that Furiosa does that even Mad Max Fury Road did not. And that's huge praise. I went into this movie expecting so less, so little, because I was in the minority. I didn't enjoy Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes that much. I know many people did, but I did not. But Furiosa is on another level. I can debate anyone that Furiosa is a much better movie than Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and that's no disrespect to the people who like Kingdom. I think I'm in the minority there, so this is just a minority opinion. It doesn't matter much. Films are all subjective, but in my opinion, Furiosa is like it's definitely a cinematic achievement. I keep saying the word cinematic achievement. That's going to be the title of this video. There are flaws. I think the first half is a bit slow. I think how they introduce Chris Hemsworth character, although fun, can be tiresome for some, but how they redeemed him in the end, and basically his conversation with Anya Taylor-Joy's character in the end redeemed that character for me and made it into that great level. And this movie is absolutely breathtaking. The action sequences, I haven't even talked about the action sequences. So well choreographed. There are shots that linger for 10 or 15 seconds, and I was spellbounded by how they were able to execute that sequence. So, usually, what happens in action movies is that you use a lot of cuts to hide the fact that the action is fake. But in this particular movie, I saw shots continuing for 25 or 30 seconds. Things are happening in the desert, and I'm not able to believe how they shot it. It must be CG or something, but how they combined CG with practical effects and brought it into the screen, I think it's monumental. It's absolutely amazing. People aren't giving this movie the credit it deserves. Like, I'm acknowledging the flaws, but how can you not appreciate the craft here? George Miller does something with these movies that no director in the world can. He uses still camera to capture these sequences, and I'm so excited. Like, it's been a while since I've been this excited to talk about a movie. Dune Part 2 was great, but Dune Part 2 is a very different kind of a movie. It's a perfect movie, but it's a very different kind of a movie. It's not just popcorn entertainment. This movie is just fun. I want people to go watch this movie. I want people to say what they thought about this movie, but I have a gut feeling that the audiences are going to eat this movie up much more than the critics. The critics have, I think, an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is great. But when you go and read the reviews, all of them say that it pales in comparison to Mad Max Fury Road. They aren't seeing how it is different to Mad Max Fury Road, the things it did better than Mad Max Fury Road. Obviously, as a movie, even I'm admitting that maybe Mad Max Fury Road is the better movie. I'm not disputing the fact. But Furiosa is so different. And again, if I watch it a couple of more times, maybe it's on par with Mad Max Fury Road. I loved it that much. Now that's pretty much it from me, guys. Like, I think I've gushed enough about this movie. I know that me saying you to watch this movie is not enough for you to go out. I hope everyone loves it as much as I do. I hope this movie makes great at the box office. Because contrary to popular beliefs, Mad Max Fury Road was not a box office juggernaut. Like, I think it lost 10 or $50 million in the end. So it was not a movie that was a super hit or something. I hope Furiosa at least recovers its money. I know it's not a great time for theaters and distributors and producers right now with the Fall Guy flopping and even Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes not doing that well. I really hope Furiosa turns that around. But yeah, I can't recommend this movie enough. I hope you go and watch it. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about it. If you are as enthusiastic as me for the movie, or you thought that a movie was okay or fine for what it was, which I think many people will say. But I hope that I'm not alone in loving and gushing about this movie. Absolutely epic, guys. Absolutely epic.